Color coding is a great strategy to support English language learners in the classroom. It allows you to highlight and organize and better understand key concepts in the classroom while you're either teaching a lesson or while students are learning concepts through all sorts of learning activities. It helps you organize thoughts, it helps you organize concepts, it scaffolds the content, and it makes it much easier for you to go back and review the content. Some different examples related to this would be for organization skills, definitely a big note-taking strategy, which is what I'm going to be showing you in today's presentation. It helps with classroom management. You can teach parts of speech. Labeling, whether you're labeling a map, you're labeling a science experiment by color coding. You can easily go back to see what the, for instance, cause versus effects are. You can highlight different colors based on literary elements. Also, you can go back and teach tenses. So the connection that really specifically helps English learners is it scaffolds the content and really chunks the content. It makes the content more visual, so easier to understand and organize. And students get to be part of the process in identifying representation of different key concepts and ideas. Some different examples listed here. If I was doing this in a lesson, I might highlight new vocabulary while I'm teaching different colors or different content within a, let's say, PowerPoint or within an article, could be in different colors. Students could explore key elements within a reading passage. You can do the I do, you do, we do modeling where the teacher highlights while they're going over notes as a model, and then they have the students do that, and then they review what those, for instance, if pink was key vocabulary, then they can review the key vocabulary by going back to the pink highlighted words. It allows students to synthesize information using the color-coded information. So imagine if they highlighted an article in yellow, they can only use that yellow text to synthesize and report back on the information. You can also have students use this as a formative or summative assessment to demonstrate knowledge by connecting key content to specific answers. So I just mentioned some formative assessments. It allows them to grasp key concepts while you're teaching, while the students are exploring, while the students are applying new content. Coloring just helps organize the content and demonstrate knowledge while they're reviewing the content. So here's an example. It's a secondary example where this teacher is doing a project, a research project on the Manhattan Project. And through this text that they're reading, which is several pages long, I just highlighted one page, they are to highlight key points about the Manhattan Project in yellow, which you can see the example done on the first page. They can highlight key geographic locations. So in this case, it's all done in blue, and there's also brackets used, just in case there's an overlap. And then you can underline key people or highlight key people in red with an underline. So you can start organizing information to see who was involved with this Manhattan Project component, where it was located, and what the key points about that was. Here's some different examples for lots of other things. So over here, you'll see students organizing and using highlighters based on different things depending on the topic. Here you can see the color coding. There's a word box that says red is for one specific thing, where green is for something else, and it's really looking at building a sentence or building a paragraph, and they're organizing there. Here's a graphic organizer where you organize based on, let's say if you're comparing butterflies and moths, butterflies can be in blue, moths can be in red, and anything that's similar, any characteristics that are similar could be in purple. Here's an organization of a story map and where they got the information from. Here's a parts of speech, which is really common at the primary grades, but is great review when you're reading new information. Here's an example of students taking notes and highlighting based on key vocabulary or key concepts. And for me, I always stick with the same color highlighting throughout the entire course. So for instance, here's one of my examples. So pink is always key vocabulary. No matter what we're doing, pink is always key vocabulary, and yellow is key concepts or ideas. And then in this example, what I do is I have them go back and read a passage, an article, or a book a second time, and then they have to narrow down to 10 important sentences, which is another strategy in blue. I use primary colors because they can overlap, which you'll find lots of the yellow and pink ends up being highlighted in blue. And then here's two examples that are done frequently, but we don't always look at it as color coding. This is color coding biomes and habitats to make it a much easier visual to see where the different habitats are located. And this is organizing the periodic table based on characteristics of elements. So there's lots of technology links. There's lots of apps and tools out there that allow you to color code and organize information. Google's my favorite go-to, but there's many others out there. And then ebooks all allow you to highlight, so you can have reading passages or reading books that you don't want to highlight in class, but you can highlight digitally. Another great tool, which I probably should have put a slide in, is there's highlighting tape, that if you are using an actual book, you can use highlighting tape that's much like a sticky note that you can highlight right over text to show information, and those can easily be peeled off. Want more information? Here's some other great resources. Thank you.